This is the Great American Cross Country Road Race, and this is the front cover, not the back. Let's open this guy up, and it says 8 reasons you'll need your head for more than just a helmet. And that's right, this game has a lot of strategy in addition to being a pole position style racing game. The gameplay is very similar to older games such as Enduro on the Atari 2600. And I call these Dodge the Blob racing games because you know, you're dodging these cars that are kind of falling down the screen, but you really, you know, as far as the player is concerned, it really might as well be falling rocks or something. Here's an example of a 1982 one by HAL Laboratory, and that's the same guys who later did Kirby. This is actually also in turn a version of a 70s Sega game called Monaco GP. Not Super Monaco GP. This was a late 70s racing game that didn't have a CPU, and this is basically a Commodore 64 version of that 70s racer. But let's not talk too much about this game. That was Le Mans, by the way. Let's talk about the Great American Cross Country Road Race. So the first thing you do in this game is you pick your route. And as you can see, these are all various cross-country routes, starting on the west coast and making your way to the east coast. We're going to go to Miami. Just like in Test Drive, you've got a fuzzbuster, and when you see that radar warning, you have two choices. You could floor it and try to blow past the cop, or you can go the speed limit and not get pulled over. And you can see it says gas on left. You do have to periodically refill your tank. You decide, you know, when to do that. And it warns you because it's very easy to blow past the gas station. Let's take a peek at your dashboard. So to the left you got the fuel gauge, you've got your RPMs, you actually do have to shift in this game, and you can blow your engine, which is actually pretty hard to do, but you can do it. There's a timer, where I don't know what happens if you take too long. Maybe you get disqualified or something, I'm not sure. Miles left until the next checkpoint, you know, until the next city. You've got your mile per hour gauge. And lastly, you've got your elapsed time and that fuzzbuster radar light. One neat touch is that the city you're approaching scrolls onto the screen, and it plays a little ditty. And it's time to pick our next destination. You can see the snow warning up ahead on the scroller and on the map. There's construction zones, there's pouring rain. You decide what challenges you want to tackle. And as you see, I've decided to take the snowy route that has ice patches all over the road. And I'm going to have to get fuel in a second because I am almost out of gas. And the way to get fuel is you kind of creep up on the gas station on the side that tells you, and you can't go too fast. You gotta kind of slow to a crawl and pull into it. And I'm okay with this because it's almost like it's simulating, you know, getting off the freeway and driving around, and you find your gas station, and it costs real time. The ice patches actually make your car slide a little bit to the left or right when you hit them. I actually lost a lot of time. I could have chosen an easier route. But one disappointing thing to me was that most of the time the best route is the direct route. And here you see me passing the cop at the speed limit, and he doesn't pull me over. Now, if you hit him, he'll pull you over, but... I actually didn't have this game as a kid. I didn't even know about it. Or Enduro, for that matter, the game it's based on. But, you know, I just love this kind of cross-country road trip vibe. Any game kind of like that, I usually end up digging. You know, Test Drive 2 is one of my favorites. I got a kick out of Need for Speed The Run on Wii, which I think a lot of people slammed in reviews, but, you know, I really enjoyed it. And here you got the day-to-night transition, another thing I am an absolute sucker for. You actually are supposed to plan your trip to avoid nighttime driving and rush hours. You actually choose when to depart. But I haven't actually found that either situation is really that hazardous. And here we got the sun coming back up again, which is also, you know, a neat touch. You can watch it as the sun rises and your dashboard lights up, you know, turns from purple to blue. You know, they went the extra mile, no pun intended. Okay, fine, that was completely intended. I actually really like the controls in this game, especially the way the gear shift works. You accelerate as long as you hold the fire button, but to shift you need to release it like pressing in the clutch, and then you flick the joystick up or down. One other thing that they really did right in this game is there's not too much inertia. Actually, there's no inertia. And that's in contrast to games like Pit Stop 2 or Super Cycle by Epix. They're both by Epix. Where a car just, like, you know, flies all over the damn road because it's like driving on ice. So for a old school driving game, you could do much worse than this, and I could have done a lot better, you know, in terms of driving and not running into things. I want to show you Enduro a little bit. This is an Atari 2600 game that I believe inspired the Great American Cross Country Road Race. I believe they're by different authors, but they're both by Activision, and they both have a lot in common. They're both about cross-country road races. The collisions are the same, you know, they're handled the same. They both have day to night and season transitions. The controls are really similar, where you want to just kind of cruise. You know, you're not always accelerating or decelerating in this game. It's better to kind of get to a cruising speed that you're comfortable with and keep it at that. And the Great American Cross Country Road Race plays just the same way, only with a few more elements. So if you like one, you'll, you know, likely like the other. Though this one is a little bit less challenging, in my opinion. Unlike in the Great American Cross Country Road Race, the goal in this is not to get the fastest time, but to pass the allotted number of cars before the sun comes back up, which is a little bit different. And don't quote me on this, but I believe the difficulty ramps up in a similar way, where with cars starting out slower and you know, the spread isn't that wide, to eventually the cars are moving very fast and they spread out all over the road. Of course, I played the crap out of this game, so that's why I'm flowing it like a maniac. So if you like Dodge the Blob racers, this Enduro, Turbo, Monaco GP, Le Mans, pick up both of these. They're both really excellent. Me, I'm gonna go play some more Le Mans. You know, this was probably made by that guy who now runs Nintendo. Food for thought. Or not. Yeah, probably not.